Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4, Yoga of Wisdom, presently in the verse number 37. In the previous verse, Lord Krishna stated to Arjuna that even if you are the worst of sinners, and if you have entered the boat of bhakti, devotion, you will cross over the ocean of the world process without any difficulty. I'm not giving the exact, but that's the meaning behind it. Continuing this, in 37th verse, the same theme is now coming to climax. Yathaidhansi samidhogni bhasmasat kurute Arjuna jnanagnihe sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. O Arjuna, just as blazing fire turns fuel into ashes, so the fire of wisdom turns all karmas into ashes. In order to properly gain insight, you have to go into various points. First point, karma-based existence is a state of bondage. Soul gripped by karma and looking for happiness is like someone who has become a slave to a monkey. Monkey on the shoulder. And is looking for happiness. Happiness not for himself or the monkey. So that becomes the strange predicament. That's called karma bandhan. This point has to be understood with great patience, that nothing can you do physically to make yourself attain the fulfillment of all your desires. Your desires will never be fulfilled. Look around you in the history. All the prosperity, you can have wonders in your life. You may be born in a very poor family, and you grow up bright student, go into a big, good job, and soon become very wealthy. You may be a very unpopular family, and now you can go viral, do amazing things. But where were you ending to? Come on, the news breaks. He kicked the bucket. They don't say that way, but where did he go? What happened? Human mind has no idea. Only one thing, that terrible experience for every soul, be aging, dying is not a joke. And then it has its effect on all people around you, near and dear ones. So I'm giving a picture of karma bandhan, soul gripped by karma. First point to understand, that grip has to be broken. Karma will not lead you to the highest goal. But does that mean that you stop every karma? That doesn't mean that. It simply means that while you are doing your duties, now you do it better, with more dexterity, because you develop a deeper understanding that you are doing it to please God within you. It's the love of God that is expressing through your activities. He is watching over you from behind the shoulder. And any act of pleasing Him is the most delightful experience in your heart. That is the picture of karma yoga. Become a yogi. But karma yoga is, if you are fully rooted in karma yoga, then all other yogas join in. You have to have bhakti, you have to have powerful will, and you have to have deep, profound understanding. All come together. So having understood that karma is not the answer, now comes the how to remove karma. And allegorically speaking, how to burn up all karmas. Burning up is not, you don't create fire. That is allegorical. Just as blazing fire turns fuel into ashes, the role of jnana. Jnana means wisdom, but wisdom not just intellectual. Intellectual wisdom must go into another step. Even intellectual wisdom has many challenges. If you are gathering lots of information, you become a Google in your head. That doesn't give you enlightenment. You are far from it. Next point, instead of collecting all types of information, all types of worldly knowledge, be focused on that type of information, that type of intellectual knowledge, which helps you in performing your swadharma. And go into another step. Start gaining that knowledge which will mature into, blossom into intuitional knowledge. And that type of thing will come if you begin to study scriptures under guidance. And if you live your life with this spirit of integral yoga. And the climax of this process is to become free of all karmas forever. Let me remind you of the statement given in Bhagavad Puran by Kunti Devi, and that expresses the highlight of Hindu culture. Highlight of, when I call Hindu, to me it relates to all religions. The real Hindu will not have narrow-minded view of religion. So what I'm referring to, let me give you the quotation. Vipadaha santunah shashvat tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yat syad apunarbhava darshanam. Kunti offers prayer to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna came to announce to Kunti that your son has become king, problems have ended, I'm going to my own place. And Kunti says, "Oh Lord, don't give me this wrong information that all have been settled. Don't stop giving me troubles." But what type of trouble? The trouble is vipatti, adversity. That during times of trouble, times of adversity, I have enjoyed the shower of your grace. And don't stop that shower. And what's the purpose behind it? Apurarbhava darshanam. So that I may not look at the world ever again. Punarbhava. So that there is cessation of the cycle of birth and death. So that is your goal, not a straight, smooth life. And turning to the karma, and the idea karma has to be burnt up. First point you have to understand, everything cannot be easily burnt up. You have to have good knowledge of what type of fuel you collect. So karma has to be first reduced to a combustible fuel. And then it be ignited by jnana, wisdom. If it has not been reduced to combustible state, then it will create a lot of smoke and it will continue to stay. Atma-jnana. For Atma-jnana, you allow yourself to practice karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and dhyana yoga. As these practices go on, now your karmas have been reduced to a combustible fire. If you have created all those, you have developed the qualities needed for a spiritual aspirant. And when you burn it up, there are two stages. Say your fuel is in the form of a piece of wood. burn it up, still the wood appears, looks, until it is scattered. In the state of enlightenment in life, karma comes to call sarupanash. It is destroyed, but Sarup exists. Internally, there is a full revelation. I am Brahman. But the personality, body, will continue because there is prarabdha karma. But while the body continues, it has its own purpose. It is in this state, sages are able to, those who are enlightened, they are able to uplift, inspire countless people. But while doing that, internally, they are not getting any better. If you become Brahman, that's a big difficulty. You can't be better than Brahman. So you are not gaining anything. And you are not creating new karmas. But if you are not enlightened, then you are constantly creating karmas. Now, just to give you a little insight, when we talk of karma, this point I have given several times, but it's like gadaparinyaya, hammering down again and again. Whenever we talk of karma, karma comes in three stages. Sanchita, accumulated storehouse. This is the divine computer. Just like your computer holds millions of data. And look at it, it's just the same thin. It doesn't get any, it doesn't get fattened, no matter what. Sanchita karma doesn't require any space. Countless bodies will arise out of Sanchit karma. Sanchit karma stays quiet. And you have nothing to do with your Sanchit karma, except one portion of Sanchit karma. Mathematically, you can't give any what percentage, but it is just a drop from the bucket, from the ocean of karma. And a little portion, a little wave of that is the basis of your present personality, called prarabdha karma. That prarabdha karma has determined or designed three things: jati, ayu, and bhoga. Jati means where you are born, in what family. Ayu, you have inherited your body and its duration. Hereditary factor is behind you. So everyone is not going to be living in the world for 100 years. Everyone is gripped by that factor, led by your karmic process. Your prarabdha has not just come to you by accident. And bhoga, what type of experiences you will have in your life. Adversity, prosperity, success, failure. All these are determined by your prarabdha. But while prarabdha runs its course, and prarabdha also gives a kind of a sketch of what your life is going to be. But just like a writer creates a little plot for his voluminous project. And when he starts the project, he improves upon the plot. In the beginning, he wrote a plot which has a kind of a tragic ending. But when he started writing the book, he turns the tragedy into comedy. So every soul is given a plot by prarabdha. By kriyaman, now in your daily life, you are now opening the door to new karmas. While dealing with the past, you are also creating new karmas. The karmas that will fructify in future. So that type of karma is called kriyaman. In kriyaman karma stage comes the role of your self-effort. There is your freedom. That is where all teachings go after. Your teachings cannot, there are no teachings can suddenly wipe away your sanchita. No teachings can improve upon your prarabdha. But the teaching now goes after encouraging you to do self-effort. No matter whatever is prarabdha, by proper self-effort, you can turn adversity to have a positive implication. And you can stop the force of negative karmas. So much so you can neutralize certain karmas. Say, for example, you have done certain negative karma that will lead you to have car accident. Now, I'm just giving a simple allegorical way to understand. You have become a sadhaka. You have been worshipping, doing prayer. The day you did the most successful prayer, you experienced the most miserable dream. Don't be afraid of it. In your dream, you had just bought a wonderful car and it got into a wreck and it has broken your legs and you don't know what else has been broken up. And then when you wake up, nothing has happened. The karma that could have operated in your daily life as a practical reality, being reduced, it went into a different way. It just happened in your dream. If it is further reduced, it will not happen even in your dream. So that way, many karmas operate. And then if you have gone in a negative way, then a karma that is just minor type of negative karma, it becomes a major. It passes examinations, makes progress. So that's how karmas operate. And the karma that you are performing in your daily life, led by your effort, all those karmas that now you are creating, they will not bear fruit in this life. Some will. Some karmas will bear fruit within few days. You say harsh words to someone and somebody slaps you back. Instantaneous fruit. But sometimes you do something negative and everybody is quiet. But later, that negative karma creates this negative situation. Prarabdha operates in three ways. Ichha prarabdha, things you want to do, it is in agreement with you, and all the situations match up with it. So things are anukul, agreeable. Anichha prarabdha, you are planning to have a wonderful trip by the ocean. But by the time you wake up, the weather condition has changed. Now, that you didn't desire. Or anicca prarabdha, another way of understanding, that certain situation comes that compels you from turning away from what you had planned. There is another point, parecha prarabdha. Things you are being led into doing several things, good or positive or negative. By people around you, by near and dear ones, by friendly ones, as well as unfriendly ones. It appears like you are being driven by others, but it is karma. Karma that has brought you in that situation. This goes on for everyone, even for one who is enlightened. As long as the prarabdha, that's the way it will operate. But what the difference is, in the case of one who is enlightened, this is the end of it. Each karma completes itself and nothing, no new karmas are generated. If you are not enlightened, every karma, when it bears its fruit, but by that time you have created new karma. So you are never rid of karmas. And the goal behind it is to gain enlightenment. When you are enlightened, all sanchit karmas simply disappear. They are not even to be burnt up. When you want to wipe away your many computer programs, you don't have to burn them up. In the next verse, nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tat swayam yoga sansiddha kalena atmari vindati. There is nothing in this world as pure as wisdom. One who has perfected himself by the practice of karma yoga attains this wisdom within his very self in his own lifetime, in due course of time. People always talk about gaining purity, purity referring to removing sinful karmas. And there are two stages of removing sinful karmas. Good karmas will neutralize the negative, evil karmas. But good karmas will present prosperous conditions. If you are not highly advanced, your prosperity can become a basis for your distraction. There is always two possibilities, Shreya and Preya. Shreya, that which is good for your soul to evolve, the right direction. Preya, you're going after things that are pleasant. But when you have gained wisdom, wisdom here means direct experience, intuitional revelation, I am Brahman. That realization is not intellectual understanding. Try to understand even in daily life the difference between perspiration and inspiration. You do certain things with great effort, full of perspiration. And then there are times when you do things with such inspiration that you have worked out miracles without a drop of perspiration. That points to what wisdom does. Inspiration is the indicator. Inspiration is pointing the finger. That's where you have to go. One has to practice. The term is yoga sansiddha. You have to go through abhyasa and vairagya. Vairagya, move away from things that are harmful for you. Just like in medicinal, if you are being treated, you are given what type of things you should avoid, what is pathya for you, what is good for you. The items that you must promote, I will just give the names. Bhakti, devotion is the highlight. Vivek, your mind must see the difference between good and evil, between real and unreal, substantial and unsubstantial. That insight must go on growing. Vairagya, you must not draw rasam that is envenomed. You don't just go on sipping every type of liquid comes to you without knowing that it has been infected. So you have to be careful. Just like with the simple matter of food and drink, so much caution is given by the medical science. Now there is caution of a different type in all your conduct, how you think, what you feel, and what type of day you are going to live. Early in the morning, the way you plan your day makes the whole day practically accordingly. If you have started your day with a lot of despair, anger, and hate, your day will not be, well, day will prove that you were right. If you develop a positive way, you'll find your day has provided opportunity for your for your experiencing your success, your brightness. And vichar. Your mind becomes involved in practice of reflection. But vichar term refers to a vast field of gathering spiritual knowledge that's not just theoretical. It's just like you are in your house, you have heard about oxygen, and etc. There you can create some good condition. But suppose you are taken to a place where the whole atmosphere is free, full of oxygen, etc., by ocean, beach, in a very nice atmosphere. Now the oxygen you are getting is vast. So that type of effect comes by vichar. One way of thinking puts you in a corner, shuts you down. Another way of thinking and understanding opens the door. Think of Om Upasana, which you begin to meditate upon I am body, and your mind then goes after. But what is this body? It's a part of the universal matter. See, if I am body, then all bodies are my body. Joking, but the idea is the entire world is you. Allowing that type of internal understanding has become possible just by an act of your understanding, act of your meditation. And then you go to another level, I am mind. But mind, in relation to cosmic mind, your mind just is a wave in the cosmic mind that has created the entire universe. So your mind is not just singled out, but it is a backing with the entire wisdom of the world. So do not stay with a sulky mind or a thinking mind. In order to do that, bring devotion and good association, satsanga. And finally, vichar leads you to discover who am I? I am. Come to causal level. When you sleep, all things have moved away, have gone into causal level. That is pointing to the state where the entire world moves away and you are unaffected. Padartha bhavana, the entire world of matter doesn't matter. Now, Tat Swayam Yoga Sansiddha. Now, while I am talking about this bhakti, vivek, vichar, vairagya, let me also add seva. Be good, do good aspect. Seva term doesn't mean a big problem how to serve, whom to serve. Every moment, even in your own family, how do you deal with your children? How do you deal with your near and dear ones? And more surprisingly, how do you deal with yourself? All this is field of seva. Be good to yourself. And in order to be good, you have to be good to everybody. If you keep a lot of muck for everybody, then you must realize, where do you keep the muck? In yourself. And another term has been used, kale natmani vidyati. When you have put yourself on the path leading to enlightenment, you should not have any internal impatience. How long I have been practicing? How long it will take for me to attain enlightenment? How many karmas have been dropped? How many karmas are waiting? Just like you have no problem with your food, you never sit back. How long have I been eating? And same thing, eating again and again. How boring. That question doesn't arise. Now, you are entering into a profounder level of intake, food. Spiritual food. And that food should be so delightful, the question will not arise how long it will take. Every day opens your opportunity. Let me remind you of the episode, the story of Narada. He wants to meet Lord Vishnu. And first stage he meets an ascetic who is practicing intense austerity. Life is short in his mind and he must please God and receive His blessings and should not delay. And so in his mind, the more he tortures himself, quicker he will go to God, or quicker he will gain psychic power. And he said to Narada, ask Lord Vishnu, how long I should go on doing. Then here Narada meets a devotee under a tree. He is dancing, singing, kirtan and expressing love of God. He also asked how long it will take for me to unite with God. And Narada, after a while, comes back with answer. To the ascetic, he says, 6 months more. The ascetic jumped out of his, that's impossible. I never knew God is so cruel. It's impossible. And Narada then comes to the devotee and says, God will come, he said. He will give you darshan and he will fulfill your whole sadhana. But see how many leaves are there? So many years it will take. No, not years exactly, But as when all those leaves fall down, until then, you go on doing your sadhana. And the devotee, instead of being depressed or feeling negative, became so thrilled. He started dancing. And now I will have everyday dance. You are tasting good food. The idea that the duration of your taste is going to be prolonged. That is not a negative thing. This point has to be understood. This is a profound secret of real sadhana in all religions. Godward movement should not permit impatience and haste. No longer how long it takes. And if that is well understood, then miracle happens. Kaliva is lifted. Kaliva. The time illusion is removed. Here and now you begin to experience deep in your heart, I am that. And your personality goes on acting in its own way. So this is what we call in due course of time. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparah sanjatendriyah jnanam labdhva param shantim achairena adhigacchati. One who is filled with faith, devoted to the pursuits of knowledge, and endowed with self-control attains wisdom. Having attained it, he hastens to everlasting peace. Three things are important. Shraddhavan, to develop faith. You have to understand, faith is intrinsic in every soul. But when you allow purity to develop, integration to develop in your personality, faith begins to shine. And when faith shines, the strength that comes on the basis of faith, that strength is beyond your imagination. And it starts from the very childhood. A baby looks at the mother, faith. That's the nose is my mother. I may not think of myself, but she will think of me. That type of internal awareness has to develop that you are. Think of your life. Not a moment can you be in your own hands. Millions of things in your body are being led by God's hand. So why don't you enjoy it? So that type of faith, Shraddhavan, And then faith has its own expression. You have faith in spiritual teacher, faith in books, Gita, Ramayana, faith in your elders, faith in your father or the Father's Day. But don't wait for Father's Day. Every day should be Father's Day. Every day should be Mother's Day, and so forth. So, Shraddhavan, first point. Second point, Tatpara. You should be active, energetic every moment. You have to well understand, when I talk active, energetic, it shouldn't give you the idea that you should put yourself under stress. A tree is active every moment because all the activity goes on. So that type of activity, if mind is not blocking that movement, your mind being holding on to sorrow and dejection and negative feeling, then it impacts on your entire nervous system. And all that is blocked, all that good things in the world are blocked from you. That blocking you should not allow. That's what is called tatpar. Ever be vigilant. And that will allow, that will imply you develop art in your daily life. A rhythmic movement. How you should practice your yoga, asana, pranayam, Surya Namaskar, whatever, according to your capacity. But don't postpone it that when I become 60, then I will start doing that. Right now, I have no problem with the health. Rather, when you are really healthy, it is the best opportunity to start gaining insight into profounder health. So, and developing anything that is positive, doing anything that is uplifting, be tatpar, chatur. Be like a sly fox that looks at every opportunity with alert eyes. I'm joking. But the idea, the world provides wonderful opportunities and you miss them. So you have to be a fox, not to miss them. Sanjatendriya. Next point, mind and senses are your instruments. Try to discipline them, control them in such a way that the higher self begins to emerge stronger. Otherwise, if mind and senses are not well utilized, lower self takes over your whole personality. So 3 points are important. Shraddha, faith, living your life with vigilance, and constant control over the lower self, mind and senses. Constantly allow your senses to go into right direction, mind to go into right direction. Mind must control the senses. And a mind in further control means going into the very ego. How to bring ego into a state of effacement. First purified ego, and all that becomes possible by bhakti, devotion and surrender to God. And in the previous verse, Lord Krishna spoke about another 3 points for spiritual aspirant. Those 3 points were bahiranga, external. These Shraddha and alertness and control, this is internal, called antaranga. What is bahiranga? First point, you have to do pranam to the spiritual teacher. Second point, inquire into, have jigyasa. Inquire into what is my goal, how can I attain it, receive instructions. Go to first level, sastanga pranam, pranam to Guru. Second stage, inquire. Guru's relation is not just for outside looking, but to gain knowledge. Be spiritually enriched through the Guru, channel of Guru. And third, seva. How to serve Guru, but Guru is always involved with helping others. The serving Guru means channelizing your energy to jnana yajna, allowing higher wisdom to go into other people. Sabko sanmati de Bhagavan, how to create good understanding everywhere. So all the 6 together give you a good understanding of what an aspirant should be. Those 3, pranam, jigyasa and seva. Antaranga, internal, faith, vigilance and control of mind and senses. Shraddha, tatparata and sanyam. And with this I will conclude. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarupam Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Shri Ramaya, Om Shri Krishnaya, Hari Om.